Good morning, fellow Sovereigns. I thought I'd do another talk out in the quiet of the countryside. So I went out on the bike, did, I don't know, 25 k's, and everywhere I stopped to do a talk, the quiet of the country turned up. Bulldozers, trucks, diggers, cars, there was just noise everywhere. So I'm back in town where it's quieter. And so today is kind of a follow on from yesterday, because I had so many messages yesterday about the idea that if we want anything, we don't fight for it, because whenever we fight, we lose. And so fighting is what we're used to. Fighting is what we have always done. And I don't just mean, with pickaxes and guns and whatever. We've fought in our mind. We've always argued about, I want something. We've always gossiped. We've always gone against whatever is. And so that's what we're used to. And it's very hard to imagine not fighting for something. And I've done plenty of fighting in my time. On the rugby field, in the classroom, in the political sphere, at home, and just with myself. I should be better, and I should be whatever. So we are so used to fighting because we see something we want, or we see something that's wrong, and we want to change it. And so there is another way. So whenever we fight, we lose, because we've always had insanity. 2,000 years, people have been complaining about teenagers, people have been complaining about politicians, people have been complaining about everything. And we still have those same insanities going on. And so fighting hasn't served us. In fact, it's made us more miserable, I would contend. That's an opinion. Opinions mean nothing. So, what's the alternative? And it's the first thing we need to recognize is that when I have a grudge, when I have an anger, when I want to set the world right, when I want revenge, when I want to balance the world or my life or something, balance some kind of injustice. When I want justice, I have an unresolved issue within myself. I have an unresolved pain. So I'm trying to get the light. All I can see is my nose. We'll get there. And so first of all, we need to recognize that if I want justice, if I want revenge, I am the one who has the pain. And when I have an unresolved pain, I want to give that to somebody else. I want someone else to hurt. I want someone else to pay for my pain. And so, if we can recognize that, it all goes away, because it then comes back to me. And it's kind of a bit tough, because I now do need to do something. However, the really great thing is that I can change the world, because I am in control of my own pain. And whether it's, I don't know, abandonment, abuse, or whatever that's happened 50, 60 years ago, yesterday, if I am aggrieved at something that's happened, I can change my mind and turn my aggrievement, is that a word? It is now. Turn my grief, turn my anger, turn my disappointment, turn my whatever it is into gratitude. And it's simply accepting what is. And of course, everyone's going to get, well, not everybody. Some people will say, well, that's not right. If something's bad, why should I accept it? I'm not saying we should accept it. I am saying that we stand in the place of acceptance of what is. Right now I'm standing on a a gravel path, there's grass around me, there's trees around me, there's a town just over there, the sun hiding behind the tree over there. Well, I'm hiding behind the sun, probably. And that is what is. I've got this body that's whatever it's doing or not doing. I've got whatever I have in my bank account. I've got whatever assets I have. I've got whatever friends I have. That is what I have right now. And if I can start with this now, with not fighting what I really want, we're always unsatisfied. Let's be honest. We're always unhappy. We always want more. And when I stop for a moment and just accept this is who I am, this is what I have, and it's from that moment, that peaceful now is what it is moment, that I can start taking action. Because if I start with, I want this and I want that and I haven't got this and I haven't got that and I need and it's not fair and this should happen and that should happen. When I'm starting with anger or disappointment or what bitterness or should have or injustice, when I'm starting with a negative state of mind about how the world should be or how my world should be, and my world should be better than yours. Oh, that's not fair if yours is better than mine. If I'm starting with some sort of negative state of mind, my actions from there will be ineffective. I will lose. However, when I start with the power of peace, with simple acceptance that this is where I am, two possible things can happen. Firstly, I might actually just stop whinging, because when I look around and accept what I have, it ain't too bad. And or the power of peace will guide me in a more powerful way than the weakness of anger. And so whatever moves me to do from this moment of peaceful power, I wasn't going to talk about this at all today. I've got the wrong caption. Anyway, here we go. Who's running this show? And we've started. So here we go. So when I start with the power of peace, or Eckhart Tolle calls it the power of now. Was it? That was his book, I think, The Power of Now, his first book. The power of now, the power of peace, the acceptance, and what's her name? Oh, I can't think of her name. Anyway, she talks about the work and the 4 steps. I think it's going to annoy me now what her name was. Anyway, and she talks about accepting what is. I mean, thousands of people have talked about this. I'm just trying to think of people who have written books that you can go and reference. That's anyway, she will turn up in my mind. When we start with the peace of now, when we stop fighting what is and say it should be that, because the world is going to be what the world's going to be. Am I arguing about unfair police or corrupt politicians or, I don't know, teenagers? Isn't going to change them. They don't care. And even if they did, they're not going to change, because that is the way it is. The world is out there being what it's being. What can change is my perception of what is. I really wasn't going to go here. I'm not sure what's going to happen next. I think I need to stop here, because it's such a simple message to stop fighting and fight the fightless fight. I just made that up before. Start with the power of now. It's got a rhyme in there somewhere. The power of acceptance. The power of what is. And it doesn't mean we accept an injustice. It means that we start with a bigger power to deal with it. So whatever we think should be changed out there will quietly move away when we move away from anger and bitterness and what should be and what must be and all of that shouldiism, and I call it autism. People doing what we think they ought to do. That's autism. Or we're doing what we think we ought to do. Some rules out there. I don't know who's running this show anymore. Anyway, I planned this and something else happens and here we are. And so I need to accept that my plan didn't happen, and I'm talking about accepting what is. And so I'm accepting what is right now, which is being here, being now. I have this nose, I have these eyes, I have this head, I have this body, I have this grass, I have this world around me. And that is what is. This is the world that's around. And yours will be different. And it is what it is. It's so. But the power of acceptance, the power of just knowing this is what is the greatest power there is. Let us practice it. And I wish you a wonderful nowness and a wonderful presence and acceptance of what is in this moment. Time for coffee. Bye.